Oh, hey, what's up, guys? So now that the gardening season has begun and we're waiting for the harvest to come in, I want to share with you guys 5 plants I still plan on starting in the month of June going into July. And these are the 5, and let's start with number 1. So number 1 would be radish. And the one in particular I'm starting with, it's the radish sparkling white tip. And this one, you could see it's 25 days. And this will be the 3rd harvest. If you come on in here, I'll show you right here. I have a next set about to be close to harvesting. So this was my first year growing radish, and these grow really extremely fast. They're a bit more cold resistant too, and it's been okay in the heat. So number 1 would definitely be radish. And when starting my radish, I had started a set outside, but based on your conditions, those set didn't take. And then I started the next batch indoors and then moved them outdoors, and that way everything was guaranteed to germinate when I moved them outside, and then I got to space them how I wanted them. So if you do go with the radish, make sure, I would recommend you start them indoors. Number 2, tomatoes. You can see I have a set right here, and these will start to flower soon, but not because these sets are out. You could still start another round of tomatoes, and what I went with was a subarctic plenty, and this is 40 to 59 days. You could see on the package there. And tomato is something that we use year round, so I decided might as well have a second harvest going later into the fall. And this variety particular, also, it does good in cold weather. But when picking the variety you want to grow though, make sure you always check the dates to see if it's still good to grow and you could have a successful harvest before your first frost date, or if it's a good variety to grow in cold weather. So that's why I went with this one. It will still be ready before the first frost, but it will still go later on into winter based on the variety I chose. So let's go into number 3. Number 3 is going to be zucchini. So I have some right here. This was just a little experimental patch. I wanted to see how closely I could grow them, but then I have some more around the garden. But I chose to go with zucchini gold rush, and this one is 49 days to harvest. I'm gonna start these ones indoor, and I've grown zucchinis a couple of years before, and what happened is I normally start all of them at once and then end up with a whole bunch of zucchinis. I was surprised how fastly they grew. So if you do start these, you could start them a week behind each other or 2 weeks or so, because once they start, they really grow fast. So that's why I would go with zucchini for number 3, because it's a very fast grower and you'll be definitely guaranteed to have a harvest. Number 4 on the list, cauliflower. So this one is gonna be my first year growing cauliflower, and let me show you guys, let me come around here. It's 50 days to harvest on the packet, so I thought this would be a good one to grow just later on into the season as more space starts to free up. I'm gonna start these ones indoor also in trays, and then move them out to a spot, because the garlic's gonna be free in another month, and then maybe I could potentially put these in that spot over there. And for number 5, I have 2, both, well, I've grown Swiss chard in the backyard before. It retakes. It's a perennial. It has retook over the winter, over the season, so it does good in the cold, in the heat. And then also spinach. That's gonna be another one I'll be growing this year. And let's start with the Swiss chard first. This one, it's 50 to 60 days to harvest. So that's lots of time before your first frost. Always make sure you check the dates. And then with the spinach, it's 40 to 48 days. So when it comes to picking the variety, always check the dates and make sure they align before your first frost so you could always get your best harvest. But if you found the content very useful or informational, remember to drop a like, share, subscribe, and I'll go show you guys how I like to start some of my seeds and in the potting mix trays, stuff like that I use, and go from there. Now that I showed the 5 crops you could still plant June going into July, this is my potting mix. I ended up getting these on sale. It was $7 a bag, which normally I get 1 bag. I use Pro Mix. That's the brand I normally use, and it's $25 a bag. And 2 of these would be 1 bag of that. So I got 4 bags for the price of 1. I thought that was a good deal. But I'm gonna head on over here. And this is just how I start most of my plants, in tray cells. I'll start poking holes in the cells and filling them in with the seeds that I'm gonna be planting and go from there. And then I have some pepper plants you can see here. But once again, like I said, that was my 5 plants I'm planting right now in June, July. If you want to see an update on what I'm planting next or updates on the garden, remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell. But until next time, guys, take care.